Hi, I'm Ann Simonsen, and I may be sharing something that is new to you. Soy curls. Have you used them before? I have, because I found a recipe of Kathy Hester's called Vegan Air Fryer Southern Fried Chicken Soy Curls. And I already had soy curls because I had read several encouraging recipes, people saying, oh, we love our soy curls, but I thought they were processed vegan protein. And they're really not. They're actually about as whole a food as tofu. And I am a whole food plant-based lifestyle medical coach. I instruct on eating a whole food plant-based diet using food as close to grown as possible. But there are things that I deviate with that on, such as soy milk, because soy is very healthy for us, as opposed to what we've heard in the past. It has been reevaluated. It has been studied at length. Dr. Greger agrees. Christy Funk, Dr. Greger of nutritionfacts.org. You can look him up, and he is all about science-based. Dr. Christy Funk, a breast surgeon of the stars, who encourages her patients before a cancer diagnosis, after a cancer diagnosis, after treatment. Eat soy, eat it daily, because it actually helps build your resistance to breast cancer, prostate cancer, etc. And they talk about the process of that. So I'm not going to go into all of that. Back to soy curls. What is soy curls? It's soybeans. Well, these, the Butler brand, because what I had when I tried them the last time with this recipe, I just ordered them online. They were from China. It said no GMO. I had to believe it. I don't know. This is a bag of soy curls that I got on Amazon, Butler soy curls, that are cooked, that are no GMO. They use no preservatives. They are cooked in spring water, so there's no chlorine. They cook the soybeans, they dry them, they mash them, and they come out with a product that they then dry and slow dry. And you get, take a look at this, you get this. These dry soy curls. And in order to reconstitute them, I simply poured into this bowl boiling water to cover the soy. I emptied out the water and actually emptied the soy into the my sieve, and it's still dripping a little bit. I used a fork. You can use a spoon to push out some water, not every drop, but I didn't want them wet. I'm going to put this bag aside, but let me tell you, this is an 8-ounce bag. It's not inexpensive. I'm going to be making this meal with half of a bag, and that feeds 2 people. Unless it was just a side dish for something and more people were eating. But this will be the main part of our meal, and I'll explain the rest of the meal. And I'm using half the bag, 4 ounces. I even weighed it. So I have the other half to make another recipe of hers, although there are several recipes called vegan Tao soy curls, or as Kathy Hester's is labeled, General Tao's soy curls. And if you've fallen in love with Chinese meals at restaurants, the Tao process usually is used on pork or meat, maybe even shrimp, and it's kind of sweet and kind of sticky, and loaded with things that we don't eat. I am close to salt, oil, sugar-free, but not quite. In other words, no processed sugar, very low oil. There's no oil in this at all, and light on the salt. So I don't eat that way, but boy, I will eat that, and I'll make a video on that as well. So the other half of this package will go into another recipe for another meal for my husband and me. So one package that cost, now you could buy in bulk, buy with friends and get it at $3 a package. But when you buy fewer, it's way up there, like $8, maybe $9 a package. But if we're getting half of that, $4, that is not expensive, considering this is a food that I know will enrich our bodies as opposed to destroy our bodies the way a lot of non-whole food, plant-based foods will do. Okay, so this is so easy. Kathy Hester gave us a list of ingredients, and they are as simple as cornmeal, yeast, poultry seasoning, Cajun seasoning, and salt and pepper if you want to use it. Well, for the Cajun seasoning, I used a no salt Cajun seasoning from the Spice Hunter. For the poultry seasoning, I used from Frontier Co-op, just poultry seasoning, no GMO, and it's sage, thyme, onion. You can make your own poultry seasoning easily enough. And when I made this last time, I made a double recipe. I do that a lot. Put the other half in a jar thinking, the next time I make this, I'm gonna have this already done. Tablespoon here, tablespoon there, and just kept doing that with the entire recipe. So this has cornmeal, and that's the bulk of it. So I have a nice medium grind cornmeal. I am going to toss these slightly wet. Oh, did I show you the wet ones? Here. They're soft, they're pliable. They would be edible, but don't taste like anything. They're going to become crispy, and then I'll air fry them. Well, what I mean is I'll air fry them and then they'll become crispy by, for me, dry heating them. If you see soy curls by, let's say a chef that isn't concerned about using hot fat, which degrades it, they'll have you fry it, deep fry it, or use a lot of oil and saute it. We're not going to do that. We don't have to. This is the leftover broth that just dripped. It's basically just a starch. I don't need it. I'm going to let that go. And then I'll toss this lightly to cover all pieces of the soy. And that's it. Then I'm going to put it on the tray, the air fry tray from my Breville oven, or for my Breville oven. And I bought these little screens to keep big chunks from falling through as easily. This grate when I wanted to air fry. So I'm using 2 of the screens. They discolor, but if I offset, now I have even smaller holes. I'm going to put it over this because I know I'm going to still have cornmeal coming through, and I don't want it on the bottom of the oven. Not that it's a really big deal, because there's a tray that just slides right out. But this is just like doing, well, let's say chicken fingers. Even though I haven't had chicken in over 4 years and don't want it, we're going to get little teeny crispy pieces. Can't wait to tell you what I'm going to do with this tonight. My husband, even though I didn't like the last brand that much, because instead of being varied in terms of size, the way that they manufactured it was rather controlled, in that every piece was a compressed straight strip cut the same length. And they didn't rehydrate that well, because the strips were so compressed that even after I rehydrated, what did I do with this? I poured boiling water over to cover by about that much and just pushed them down once in a while for 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. You don't want to overdo, or you will actually take away their, I'm going to use the word integrity, meaning that they're going to get soft and lose their body. So this isn't something that the longer the better. Okay, I'm getting down to the bottom, and these tiny little crispy ones are going to be really fun. Now, would I use this crumble again on something that I would use right now? For example, if I had some eggplant that I sliced and drained, maybe salted and drained and then rinsed, or maybe even some zucchini slices. Maybe I would roll them in this right now. There's no reason not to. This isn't something that, for example, like my dry mushrooms here must be cooked for, I'm going to use the word safety. That's not the case here. All right, I'm finished with this. I am just trying to get all the little crispies because I love crispies. That's something that a lot of people who go whole food plant-based say they miss, and that's crispies. So see, I have some of this left. I'm gonna find something to do with later. Maybe even, ooh, if I had green tomatoes, I could make fried, but air fried green tomatoes. I'm gonna play with this. If I come up with something that I think you might wanna know, I'll put it on the recipe. Okay, now, I did this over a container, and I'm glad I did. And I'm gonna shake it very lightly over the sink to get rid of a little bit more. And can you see what I'm doing? I'm sliding it in my air fryer. It is Kathy, oh, that's telling me it wants me to open it and turn it. But I just make it stop talking to me by opening it and closing it, because I haven't found that I needed to turn it. Kathy Hester recommends 5 minutes at 380 air fryer, but she has one of those pot type air fryers. This is the Breville. The air moves better, it moves up and down better, but I still found that 380 was just fine. And I'll do it for the 5 minutes and then jostle them a little, and then another 5 minutes. And last time I made it, I believe I gave it a total of 12 minutes. Okay, so what do I have here? This is what we're gonna do. It's gonna be like a Southern meal, because I have mashed potatoes that are actually part potato and part cauliflower, a little less cauliflower than potato. You'll find it at nansimonsen.com under veggies. I don't know if it's under main dish, but it's absolutely delicious. Or my YouTube channel, Nan Simonsen, leave a space between Nan and Simonsen, and you'll see the video of making these. Everybody loves these mashed potatoes. They're delicious. So these are mashed potatoes that were left over from the last time I served them, 4 or 5 days ago? And this was the leftover. So we'll share this. I'm going to be sauteing, and when I say saute, I mean dry saute. I'll first dry saute red onions. I'll be putting in garlic. I'll put the mushrooms in, and there's a recipe for that. Nan's favorite mushroom gravy. And it's, or it may be Nan's favorite sauteed mushrooms. I'll put a little bit of rosemary, dried from my garden. And I have dried porcini mushrooms. And so I've reconstituted this. The porcini mushrooms have a very strong flavor. They're very smoky. They're just strong. So I'm gonna put these in. They need to be soaked for a half an hour and then cooked for at least a half an hour. I don't know that I'm gonna saute that long, but the instructions recommend that. Mushrooms should be eaten cooked. Do you remember the days that we would just go to a salad bar and pile them on? I did that. But they're finding that mushrooms do have a toxin that can very much disrupt our microbiome. And that's it. So we're gonna have mashed potatoes, a mushroom gravy. Now we have chicken fingers. I'll make us a salad with a arugula, cucumber, red onion, Kalamata olives, and a drizzling of the reduced balsamic vinegar. I don't use oil, and it's just delicious. And so everything that I serve us is meant to nourish us. It's meant to feed our microbiome, those gut bugs that want variety, and plants for fiber. It's meant to give us polyphenols, which means the chemicals that come in plants that act as antioxidants. And as my book recommends, help us grow powerfully. At almost 72, I'm 10 weeks away from 72. I just ran a half a marathon. I am determined to go whatever God gives me, but hopefully the next 10, 20, or 30 years, healthy and strong, so I can enjoy every second of it. And if you look around us, people are losing that kind of vibrant health in their 40s, 50s, and 60s because of what they eat and their lifestyle. It's not hard to keep yourself going, and it certainly is delicious, especially whole food, plant-based. Have a great day, because I know I'm going to. Thank you, and thank you, Kathy Hester. I'll be linking her channel for you on the recipe. Bye. I decided to come back because I want you to see what this is going to look like. All right, I showed you the mashed potatoes. I simply put those in the microwave. So here's a nice big serving of mashed potatoes, over which, look at this, I'm putting these beautiful, I won't cover them, but I'm inserting these beautiful, and if you can't see them, look, they're like my dry saute. There's no oil involved in these at all. So they are baby bells, baby portobellos, and the porcini. And I steamed some broccoli. Got to get our greens in. Is this a lot of food? No, this is what we do every night. And then some. And then our main dish. Oh, and look. Remember what I said? I went ahead and did cut up a zucchini, put it into the crumbs, and I still have that much of the crumbs left because food has been in it. I won't store it long term, but maybe I'll refrigerate it until tomorrow and see if there's something else I want to air fry coated with basically whole food. Just cornmeal with some seasonings. And so since this is my husband's plate, I'll give him some of the air fried zucchini. And then look at this. Look at these. They are crispy. Oh my goodness. And they are so good. So let me take a handful of them, put them over kind of everything. Last time he had these, even though I wasn't crazy about the brand, he loved them. Look at this beautiful plate. Look at that. And we're serving the tomato and cucumber salad over arugula. And just before I shot this, look for it, I have this irresistible bean dip of Drina Burton's that I shot a video on. Marvelous. And we'll be able to dip the zucchini. Oh, yay. Boy, that's good. As well as the soy curls in it. So, well, bon appetit to us. That's what it looks like when you're about to eat whole foods that are plant-based, that absolutely love you as much as you are going to love them. Bye-bye.